international student in Waterloo. I love learning new languages, and this passion of mine has led me to start a small business. I'm an independent English teacher, and my classes are held virtually. I mostly teach English to Iranians as I can speak Farsi and guide them better in their mother tongue. I'm from Iran, and as you may know, Farsi is the national language of Iran, so I learned it at school and I studied in this language. But other than Farsi, I can speak Azerbaijani, which is my mother tongue, and also Turkish, and I'm currently learning French, so I also have Azerbaijani and Turkish speaking students. Students usually come to me for IELTS tips and how to study for this exam. IELTS, which stands for International English Language Testing System, is an international standardized test of English language proficiency, and it's for non-native English language speakers. So people usually take this exam when they want to immigrate to an English-speaking country, for example, like Canada. There are several books that I always recommend to students, like IELTS vocabulary, both for intermediate and advanced levels, IELTS Maximizer, or IELTS in a Flash. I mostly see that students struggle in the speaking and writing modules. They get nervous when speaking, which is understandable as English is not their first language. They overthink when speaking and start translating vocabularies in their head, trying to find the right words. That is why I always recommend them to speak English constantly if they want to succeed and to start even thinking in English rather than their mother tongue. I also recommend students to write at least one essay each day in order to become more confident writing in English. Also, watching movies, especially sitcoms, are really helpful when it comes to learning a new language. As I said, I'm currently studying French, so one day I hope to become a French tutor as well. And yeah, this was a little bit about my journey teaching English, and thank you all for listening.
Thank you. I have a few questions. Maybe others also have questions.
Yeah, sure.
You prefer or in person? You are teaching English in person or online, or for now, what is your, would you explain that?
Yeah, sure. As I said, I'm currently teaching online because as I mentioned, most of my students are in Iran, and they want to immigrate to an English-speaking country, so there is no possibility of teaching in person. But I don't know, in the future I may take students in Canada too and teach them in person, but currently no, it's just fully online, and that's actually better. It saves a lot of time.
I believe you can find lots of international students because they are, maybe many of them are not very good on English. They want to, they need help. And I mean, in Waterloo, still, I believe you can find many students and also adults that coming from other countries, refugees. Many of them also, they don't have very good English. Maybe you can find. And how much you are charging them?
Actually, it's in Toman, so which is the currency of Iran, because there is no possibility for them to pay me in dollars. So I can't really say a dollar amount, but if I want to say in dollar, it would be something like, I don't know, like $10. Now we're kind of like that.
Very good. Anybody else? Anybody else have question from Saba?
Yes.
Please.
And each day, how many hours need to practice English for and learn English?
So there isn't an like a specific amount that like specific number of hours that you should study English each day. But if you really like want to succeed, especially if you're studying for an exam like IELTS exam or TOEFL, you should just do your best and study as much as possible. But if I want like at least each day you should study for 2-3 hours